dudes? It's Molly. Open throat chakra. Somebody who's been very quiet about something might finally talk about it. All right. Spirit wanted me. I just was in the tub and Spirit said, Molly, will you please explain what a dark night of the soul is? So we hear this concept called dark night of the soul. It's not just one night. It's not a literal night. It's kind of an event that happens to you. I've got my picture cards here, and I'm just going to pop them. I'll show you whatever pops while we talk. So the dark night of the soul, okay, it's a complete collapse of false reality. It's complete spiritual depression. It's hitting spiritual rock bottom. This is my card for a tower. And the dark night of the soul usually sends you into, that's interesting, my computer just turned it off there. I hear turned it in, okay. Usually sends you into a spiritual awakening. Now let's just remember, these aren't just things that you think about. These are events that actually happen to you. So you may be living your life, just doing your thing. San Diego might mean something. That's what it says here. Just doing your thing. Something traumatic could happen. You could have a very successful life, yet you all of a sudden find it unfulfilling. Everything that you had worked for up until then, you might have found lots of success in it, but you may just say to yourself, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. If you are spectrum-y, this is my card for somebody who may be in the military or may have come from a military family. If you're spectrum-y and an adult, maybe around, I'm going to be 50 years old in October. So, you know, my generation, you probably were never diagnosed as, especially if you're high functioning spectrum. You may have been called eccentric, creative, weird, unique, got that it factor, that thing, the rose without the thorn. And you might have a complete collapse of reality. And you might feel very, very lost. You may have a narcissist, an interaction with a narcissist that sends you, it could be a twin flame catalyst that sends you on a healing journey and puts you through the cleanse. So why does narcissism abuse so often lead to spiritual awakenings? There's some really great videos that Spirit wants all of us to watch. I will put them down in the comment section of this reading. The first one explains what the dark night of the soul is. The second one, and that's when it's explained through, it's kind of an old concept that came through with Christianity and Catholic. But it's about the expansion of the consciousness, and you will get the history of it, where actually you come to realize that God, rather than being a kind of a presence up in the sky looking down upon us, like we've been indoctrinated to believe, that it's more like the force. It's nothing, but it's everything. You may have had an interaction with somebody where the vibration, whatever that was, woke up some trauma from your past. And then that could have caused a complete collapse of false reality. A very toxic person could have awoken a trauma bond with you. Somebody could have put spells on somebody, some lowbrow witches, I hear. So there's a lot of people that may have been thrust into a very brutal spiritual awakening and may not even understand that they're having an awakening. So I keep, and now there's a third video with this man named Victor, and he talks about, I think it's called 11 Signs You Are Having a Kundalini Awakening and Not Knowing. And it'll be like, I'm okay with my life, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. And then it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Just like that. You may change vibration. You may have had a near-death experience. You may have had the shit scared out of you. You may have lost someone very dear to you. You may have had something that had a complete paradigm shift. And it's very, very lonely. And the dark night can last for quite a long time if you're stuck or you don't understand what's going on. And we have to understand that knowledge is the key to freedom. So I'm also going to link another video from a delightful woman who explains how to get through the dark night. And that you're very, very fragile right now. If you're going through the dark night of the soul and starting a brutal spiritual awakening. And it's the darkest of the dark nights where people may start feeling suicidal. And so what I'd want to tell you is, remember the dark night of the soul is much like a Super Bowl slam. So just remember when we whipped a Super Bowl as a kid as hard as we could, whipped it on the ground to see if we could get it to hit the ceiling. Yeah, when you're in the darkest part of the dark night, that's when you've been whipped so fucking hard that your Super Bowl is just a flat circle on the ground. You've had the tower, everything's around you. Your whole reality, your whole life may have blown up. Right before the awakening, you may part of the dark night is also going through a shame cycle. You may have said something just horrid, done something stupid, whatever it was. You may be doused in shame. Just remember, that's part of the awakening. And everybody goes through the shame cycle. So you're not just like this lone piece of shit. Everybody goes through the shame cycle. And so what's happening is, you've been called upon for your beautiful brain. You have a higher calling, a divine mission. You are some form of light worker. So you may have personal traumas that need to heal because spirit needs you at your highest vibration. You may have karmic people in your life that are being removed from your life. You may have new people, members of your soul family, that are being introduced into your life. Now let's remember, karmic doesn't mean piece of shit person. It means that person, you had a soul contract with that person so they could teach you a lesson. When the lesson is over, or sometimes have kids with, you might have had a mission to bring kids or a kid onto planet Earth. When that contract is over, things will tend to get worse and worse between you, to where pretty soon you resent each other. If you're saying, oh my God, this is happening to me, just know that's very common. You're not alone, and it will get better. Just remember, if you're in the darkest part of the dark night, what's really happening is you're gathering all your energy to bounce back up super, super high. You have to get rid of some negativity within you. Spirit is trying to help you find self-love, the Ace of Cups. You have to have self-love, true love for yourself before you can love someone else. And that's the Two of Cups, your soulmate. A lot of people who may be high-functioning spectrum-y people just need to be told, hey, guess what? You're spectrum-y. Oh my God, then all the cogs and wheels start rolling. Everything makes sense. So Spirit wants us all to watch those videos and just remind yourself that you're never alone. If you're feeling FOMO, if you're kind of alone right now and you're feeling FOMO, just remember, nothing is more important than your mental health. There is nothing more important than your healing journey. And whatever bullshit FOMO thing you might be worried about, how you're going to feel after you find the Ace of Cups is going to blow whatever that puny thing was out of the water. And just remember, you're going through the spiritual awakening and the cleanse. You are going to be a completely different person after this is done. Happier, healed. You just got to get through the toughest part, which is the dark night. But if you're listening to this and this resonates, you've already had an aha moment. You've identified that you're in a dark night of the soul, and you're starting a kundalini or a spiritual awakening. You will find spirit, source, God, your ancestors, aliens, the force, all of the above, whatever you call it, will start guiding you to your actual soul family. You will all of a sudden be around people you really resonate with. If you're around a lot of people that don't understand you, Spirit will try to bring in people through other resources, maybe like my channel or something like that. This is my card for the dog that comes and digs you out after an avalanche came and fell on you. And this is my card for the person who found their spirituality. They got a big hug from Jesus. Somebody could have had like a religious dogma. May have had dogmatic oppression. Something like that. It's the end of the suffering, darling. Knowledge is the key to freedom. All right, so there's the message. If you're feeling sad, just remember, if you're feeling really, really sad, I always have in every one of my descriptions of every one of my readings, at the very bottom is a phone number for a national suicide hotline. I'm also going to link, if you're sad but you're not there, But if you want a little pick-me-up, I'll also link the emergency Hall & Oates hotline. Yeah, you just dial it. Emergency Hall & Oates songs. Yeah, push 1 for Maneater. Push it, yeah. And then this other delightful one. It's a hotline that's been done by an elementary school. And you get pep talks from kids. And so I'll link that phone number down there too. Hang in there. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. You have to sit in the dark for a minute before you get to the light. And when you're in the dark and you feel all alone, just know you're not alone. Do you feel that? It just sat next to you. It's the Phoenix. It says, you don't know me. You haven't met me yet. But together we're going to rise. It's a pleasure to meet you. All right, there you go. Peace out. Love ya.